Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. And we got our awesome guest, the beautiful Chantel Simone, my sister in.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I am so excited to have this conversation.
It is a pleasure to have you here, sweetheart. I had thought about you a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to reach out, but I only do these conversations once a week. So, it might seem like too much time is going by, but trust and believe people are on my mind daily to have these conversations with. So please, mods, make sure to put the link to Chantel's channel in the chat so that people can go and give her some subscribers. Go and support the good sister.
Thank you.
Because she does come and give us her time. Okay. Thank you so much to my mods. Put a 1 in the chat if everyone can see and hear clearly. I want to make sure before we start really getting into a conversation. Okay, everybody can see and hear. That's good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So, Miss Chantel, I brought you here today because I wanted to have this particular conversation with you. Even though I realize that's not really what I want to say. I wanted to talk about the concept of women like us. And when I say women like us, I mean women who have thought to come to social media, specifically YouTube, to express their concerns over the behavior, over the various dynamics concerning Black men and Black women, and specifically the behavior of Black women in general. I guess I want to say in this country or what have you, because I'm trying to be as specific about the demographic as possible. And I wanted to discuss with you the concept of being, as they call, Black male identified. And the first thing that I want to cover with you or ask you, does that phrase, how do you define that phrase, or what does that phrase mean to you, if anything at all?
Well, based on method of elimination and just observing whenever I do get called that, it's whenever I'm presenting an alternative perspective to feminism. So, feminism says one thing, and if you say another thing, then you're being accused of, especially towards Black men, then you get to be accused of being male identified. To this day, I have no idea what they mean when they say that, but the definition that I interpret it as is if you go against the narrative of the sisterhood. Basically, if you go against girl code, then you are male identified.
Okay, so we saying an alternative perspective to the accepted whatever feminism says about any particular thing, or how women are supposed to behave, or anything like that.
Regardless if it's a logical point or if you're stating facts, as long as it's against the code, the sister code, girl code, then you're male identified.
In your estimation, is there a real such thing as girl code?
Oh, absolutely not. What girl code? No, because we can observe how they'll turn on each other when. Because if no, I actually back up. If there was girl code, then they wouldn't have called us male identified. They would want to hear what we're saying, understand our perspective, and girl to girl, woman to woman, have a conversation without feelings. So that within itself shows that there's no girl code.
So the concept of girl code would be basically, this is how I see girl code, because I think that there is a code. It just don't make no sense. I have come to sort of understand that the hyenas do have a code that they that they have among each other. But I feel like it's not anything based on loyalty. There's no accountability in it. There's no loyalty in it. And there's no stability in it. It is applied how and when it is convenient. And it must be applied in ways that shirk accountability for them in every way. So it's self-serving. I think that's what I want to say. The girl code that sisterhood have, which I think that the sisterhood is fake, because in a real sisterhood there would be accountability. In a real sisterhood, there would be the ability to pull your coattail, or what have you, and it would not be a big deal. But when you have a fake sisterhood, there's a code. It's just no honor among thieves, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if it benefits me to stab you in the back, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the one of the biggest current examples of that is probably how these chicks carry that T app situation. You heard of the T app, right?
Yeah, I heard of the TI.
What did you think about that when you first heard about the T app?
It
Like,
was just an absolute ghetto. First of all, the embarrassment. Why? If you have to think to download the T app, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with that guy. If you are thinking like that's a red flag right there. The thought alone should be a red flag. Either a red flag for him or a red flag for you. I'll share a quick story about the TF. I don't know if I want to share, but a guy friend reached out to me and asked if I could download the TF because he wanted to see if his name is floating around. So I told him I'm not going to download that app. Like I'm not going to put that app on my phone. But what
right.
I would do is join, because they have a Facebook group. Are we dating the same guy?
Oh.
Are we dating the same guy? So I said, okay, I'll join it for a few days, browse, see if you're in it, and then remove myself. While I was browsing, Kendra, oh my gosh, the stuff that I saw in there, I was like, this cannot be real. One person posted something, she posted her ex-husband and his new girlfriend and said, do you guys have any tea on both of them? We're going to court next week and I want to win custody of my child.
Oh.
I saw that. I removed myself instantly. I told him, listen, if you're in this, you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. But like that's what they do on the T app. That's what they do on those apps. So to your point, yes, there is a girl code, but I wouldn't even call it a girl code. I would call it a hyena code because whatever they're on, the code that they're on is just the absolute ghetto.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. That T app, once certain things start coming, I'm like, y'all are on this app sharing these men. And y'all are sharing the dregs of the men. Y'all are not even really sharing, like, it was, to me, it was almost like that same thing that happened a few years ago where this woman was busting out the other women who was talking about her, they baby daddies. And she was going through their pictures. She was like, so these are the men that y'all are having babies with. And them men was horrible, from the looks to the hygiene,
Yeah,
to the way they was even taking pictures, like told you everything that you needed to know about who they were. And I'm like, oh, I hate that for y'all, because y'all is going through with these men.
and the worst part about it, they'll find their men on the T app, but they're not leaving them. They just want to see what woman their men are also dating to compare themselves to the woman, not to leave the man, but to compare.
Right. It's a bunch of foolish men. It's a bunch of foolish men that these women are out here doing, and you can't pull their coattails. Because one of the things that I used to think was that there was no other women around to really tell these girls that what they were doing was foolishness. But in recent years, I've come to understand that that's not actually true. That's not real. They be having women in their lives, somebody that will tell them the truth about what they are doing, which brings me to my next thing that I want to discuss about women holding other women accountable, so-called. And the concept that, because I hear it, sometimes I hear the men ask, well, why don't the good women call out the bad women? Or why don't, they either differentiate or educate them? I'm of the opinion that that has happened and that they're hard-headed. What I want to ask you though, Miss Chantel, is do you think that, generally speaking, these girls that move like they moving on the T app and elsewhere, do they have any woman at all, friend, elder woman, any woman at all, to tell them that these are not the correct decisions that you're making? Or are they really going through life not knowing no better, just doing whatever, and it just kind of is what it is?
I don't know. That's a tricky question. I think it's a little of both. I think they went through life, enjoying their 20s, being in the street because, they have all this time. And then when they reach a certain age, they did get guidance from women who will tell them, hey, you kind of went on the wrong path. If you want better, change your ways. But because they got so stuck in their habits and they got told something else for so long, and then they're holding on to hope. They're holding on to this Disney narrative that if you become realistic, then you don't have enough faith in God. God is going to send you your Prince Charming. But if you become realistic and say, wait, if I have 3 babies with 3 different baby daddies, then maybe no Prince Charming is coming. Then it's like, how he has little faith. A man is gonna come. Just hold off. So I feel like they do have some women to tell them the truth, but because it's overpowered by the girl code, the sisterhood, and then also they don't want to face the harsh truth. So then they put whoever is telling them the truth, they dismiss it. I mean, and we can even see how they dismiss it based on how they react to channels like ours, because we're not saying anything that everybody don't know, that you yourself also, if you look in the mirror, will also know. But sometimes the truth just hurts too much.
Yeah. And to your point about having channels like ours, I want to say a couple of things about it. I want to talk about not only what we say and it being dismissed, but how it is dismissed, what they say to justify it, because I think that dynamic pretty much paints a picture of how things go personally and on one-to-one with these women. With out of 3 good girlfriends, one of them gonna tell you the truth. One of them gonna tell you that the way you moving with that guy is stupid. One of them is gonna tell you at some point, even if they ride with you most of the time, they be like, well, girl, I don't know about you doing that now. You know what I'm saying? That sound a little funny. And so the way to sort of, like you said, to your point, dismiss it. And then collectively, they dismiss channels like ours. When we get on here and we say pretty much what needs to be said, what many women need to hear, even though we understand it is the harsh truth, we're accused oftentimes of simply pandering to the men, just to sort of get attention from the men. And that implies that we don't actually believe what we're saying. We're just on here, I guess, to waste time and to try to get validation from the men. What do you even think about those because I kind of want to do a deep dive into that. What do you think about that kind of dismissal of what we say?
It's forcing them to stare in the mirror. It's for so long, it's men are the fault, men are the problem. This is why, dating sucks because of men. And then if we say, hey, it's because we don't know how to control our emotions, we come in on the dating market with all this baggage, expecting perfection. It requires you to look within the mirror, and it requires you to take accountability. And if it's one thing we know as people, women don't want to take accountability. So it's easier to just blame the men. And instead of saying, dang, you made a good point, they'll just move the goalposts, or they'll say something, or they'll cry. I remember when I first started listening to this kind of content, I was listening to a panel. I don't remember the content creator's name, but it was a content creator who was fair and balanced. She had supported this kind of message too. And they were on a panel debating. And she backed one of the females in a corner and asked her a question. And then she was like, well, whose side are you on? Like when she couldn't answer her question, she's like, oh, whose side are you on? You're supposed to be on the woman's side. And that's when I realized, oh, it's not necessarily getting to a point of a solution, it's winning. And if you're in a conversation with somebody and your main goal is to win and not come to an understanding, then you're just wasting your time. And that's why they'll reject and dismiss channels like ours, because we come with logic and we come with facts, while they're just coming with their emotion and trying to win and say, well, it's men's fault.
And you know, the funny part about you saying that it's men's fault, I almost titled this live stream, It's Always Jermaine's Fault. I almost titled it that way. So it's interesting that we come to this point in the conversation. The so-called dating pool as we know it in 2025, everybody, men and women, agree that it is tainted. What they say, it's pee in it. In the dating pool, that's what they say. And everybody appears to be simply pointing the finger.
Yeah.
Well, the men are saying that it's all the women's fault, and the women are saying it's all the men's fault. So I think my question might be twofold. The first part of that question is, how much validity do you think each side has, like percentage wise? Percentage wise, how much validity do you think that the men have in their complaints about how the women move? And how much validity do you think that the women have in their complaint about how the men are moving?
Well, I would say the men have a higher percentage, only because don't get me wrong, there are issues on both sides, because we know a woman cannot raise a boy into being a man. And in our community, I don't know if your audience know, but I'm living in Jamaica now. So when I talk, I'm talking from a perspective.
You went
Yeah.
to Jamaica. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm permanently living in Jamaica. So when I refer to the Black community, I'm talking about the Black community that I'm familiar with, both Jamaica and the American Black community.
Okay.
Majority of children are raised by single moms. So now, if you say a woman cannot raise a boy into a man, and then you have these single mom raised men on the dating market, like, there are issues there too, and women can experience issues with men. And then, of course, the issues that men are facing with women because of the feminist movement, because they want to be strong, independent, but yet they want all the traditional roles from men. Now, why I would say that the percentage is higher on men's side, because of the feminist movement. So not only are men are told, oh, you need to be traditional, you need to pay all the bills, these are the rules, you need to buy her flowers, open the car door, pay for this, pay for that. But then at the same time, women are being told you shouldn't wash, cook, and clean. So it's like men are still being forced to maintain those traditional roles, while women are being encouraged to be modern. So if just by that logic, we can tell that it's majority. Not saying that men are perfect and men know what to do on dating, and they're just coming as these great men, but majority of the issue is on women's side, thanks to feminism and our inability to acknowledge that, yeah, there's problems on our side.
Okay. I'm gonna hold my second thought, because I gotta get up for 2 seconds. I will be right back, everybody. I am so sorry. I'll be right back. My apologies. Okay. My apologies to everyone. Deezy said, and I'm reading this comment because it kind of goes with what we're saying and what I wanted to say. Deezy said, because men tend to hold themselves and each other accountable, it's only a small amount of women that hold each other accountable. I find that to be both true. It's true. But here's my thing. There are plenty of women. I've been the woman. I know people personally that have been the friend, been the woman, that see stupid stuff that these women are doing, saying, when it comes to men, when it comes to their children, when it comes to other important decisions in their life. They come to you, they want you to co-sign them, they want you to agree with them. And when we don't co-sign it, when we don't agree, when we tell them this is retarded, why, you know what I'm saying, why are you even going through any of this, and we give them logical points as to why this is not something that they want to do, we are dismissed. It's not that it's not being ever said. That's the point that I'm trying to sort of drive home. Okay? These hyenas are hard-headed. They hard-headed. And I don't know why. I'm here to tell the men that they don't listen to reason just because it come out of a woman's mouth. That is not how that works.
Absolutely, yeah.
At all. Miss Chantel can let y'all know, because she's agreeing with me. What they do not listen at all to what we are saying. I don't know if the video aired or not, because I do videos all kind of in one thing, so please forgive me if it ain't aired. But I did a video, whether it's aired or not, about this one, the posting of this one lady to her friend, and says she's not coming to her baby shower because that's the third baby and third baby daddy. So we're not going to celebrate the constant baby mamaism that you are doing. And that woman promptly cut her off in the text. You blocked, how can you not support me? Da 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 da. So when we don't support it, they just, like Miss Chantel said, just X you out. You just bye-bye. We don't gotta talk no more. And I'll just go around other women that will co-sign what I'm doing. I just won't listen to the other women. This is sort of to the grander point that we're making about the dismissal. If you all are wondering why our channels are not more popular with women, despite the fact that we're talking to women, I need y'all to really get that part. My chat room, as well as when Miss Chantel do videos and go live, her chat room is majority men, not women. Because if women listened to good advice, just because it came out of a woman's mouth, my chat room would be flooded with women. And that is not the case at all. So let me get back to the question and more to the topic at hand about us. It is time for a commercial break, but I got my points written down, so I'm not gonna lose it, hopefully. But after these messages, we'll be right back, because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want your skin to look and smell its absolute best, then please go to ashkicking.com. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If this is going to be your first time ordering, take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson at checkout. Okay. Let me read these super chats real quick. Thank you, Dr. Steele. I remember when both of you, River and Danica, had a conversation after some feminists attacked River. It was beautiful. I do remember that. Thank you, Mogul, for your contribution. Appreciate you. Thank you, Rob, for your contribution as well. And thank you, Gregory. Says salute to Crimson and Chan. Long time since the last collab. A special thanks to Chantel for actually bringing on Passport Bros to speak for themselves. Okay. Take heed. Another good sis said, all facts. I have more men than women in my chats. Okay. So let me get back to the point at hand, because I asked you what percentage of it, and then circling around the fact that it's all Jermaine's fault. Why do you think, aside from the obvious, I guess, points or whatever, and we can talk about the obvious points, but why do you think that all of the arguments that women have about the dating pool kind of circle back to that concept that it's always Jermaine's fault, or it's Jermaine's fault, pretty much?
To paint themselves as perfect. I don't remember. It was a while back. Someone had mentioned that men growing up, they were always told women are, sugar and spice and everything nice, and you never hit a girl, and girl are precious. So I think a lot of these women, they need to maintain that image. So no matter how wicked, for lack of better words, they are, no matter how they're destroying the community, no matter how they are the ones that's peeing in the dating pool, to paint themselves as innocent, they have to hyper focus on the small percentage of men. So if you have 80% of women peeing in the dating pool and 20% of men peeing, the 80% of women have to hyper focus on the 20% of men, so that way we take the attention off the 80%. Hence why, again, if we whoop channels like mine and yours were to speak up and say, wait, but here's the 80%, that's why they have to call us male identified, they have to call us pick me, they have to focus on our looks, they have to focus on our features and ignore the topic at hand just to distract from the facts.
The sugar and spice and everything nice, that has been in my head recently, probably for the last couple of months, because the rest of that is that boys are made of snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
What? I didn't know that.
The rest of that, yeah. Girls are sugar and spice and everything nice, and boys are snips and snails and puppy dog tails. Y'all didn't know that was the rest of that, and I'm still missing a portion of that. And I think we've carried, or we've tried to carry, that concept of women, that we're always sort of the nice ones. And a lot of women, especially when women are toxic, are anything but nice. When women are toxic, they're anything but nice. When women want to be toxic, they're going to scorch earth in that toxicity. So here's my other thing. Since it's all Jermaine's fault, it's just a deflection to make sure that there's no accountability, would you say it also helps to ensure that women are always the victims of men in some way?
Definitely. What? How can women even survive if they're not the victims? Like, victimhood is their oxygen. Like, and we're taking a serious matter, turn it in joke, but because seriously, have you ever paid attention to how a woman tell a story? I remember, so I watch a toxic trait of mine is I watch a lot of true crimes. So when I watch a lot of true crimes.
I love true crimes.
Yeah, oh gosh, I'll be sitting there.
I don't know why. Every woman I know love true crime. I do not know why, girl.
I do not know why. And men have told me it's a red flag. I said, hey, that's the red flag.
Well, then I got a whole red flag then, because I'm going to sit me and watch me some true crime now. I'm going to solve it. I'm going to solve the case.
I know, right? So earlier today, I was watching one and I was scrolling through the comment because I love to interact with the comments. As you know, I watch them on YouTube. And one person said, my ex-husband abandoned me and left me with and left me, and he went with her best friend. And I was wondering, like, for some reason, using the word abandoned me stood out for me, because I'm like, why did you use that word? Why couldn't you say left, or why couldn't you say divorce? Why you had to use abandon? And if you ever pay attention to how these women choose their words when they're telling their stories about men, like, they are the biggest victim ever. A video that I reacted to, she said, her husband, though he wasn't cheating or he didn't do anything significant, he neglected her and he abandoned her. So I left. And I'm like, did he abandon you or did you leave? You know how
Right.
they have to
Which
tell
one? Which one? Mm-hmm.
the choice that the words that they use, it has to paint them as such a huge victim, where they're just so innocent and they did nothing wrong, and then the guy came and he either beat the hell out of them or he abandoned them or he did something. That's why I said victimhood is their oxygen. Like, they live on victimhood planet.
You know what? They do live, and this is why, I believe All Women was a farce to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that there are no victims, right? But you write about how women tell stories. We tell stories based on how things made us feel.
Mm-hmm.
We that's how we tell stories. Pretty much all of us are guilty of that, at least at some point. Telling a story through the lens of how a situation, a person, an event made us actually feel about something. This is why when you start picking to the facts of the matter and what actually happened, despite how we feel about what happened, that's when you start getting a fuller picture about
Mm-hmm.
it, rather than
Mm-hmm.
the stories that we tell that are coming through the lens of my emotions. If I liked
Mm-hmm.
something, then it was the most wonderful thing, magical thing in the whole wide world. If I didn't like something, that it was horrible and that other thing was a monster. You know what I'm saying? And there's no middle ground to it, right? Because there's really no middle ground to the feelings most of the time. So you write about that. You write about that storytelling. We are going to tell a story that's gonna make us the damsel
Yeah.
in distress. We gonna be the victim, okay? And the other one, that somebody else got to be the monster. We are not gonna be the monster in nobody's
Mm-hmm.
story.
And it always gotta be men. It's always German fault some way, somehow. Men are. I saw this video. The girl, she got in an accident and I guess she slid her car on the 18-wheeler. Do not believe her for anything, because as you said, she felt like she slid her car onto the 18-wheeler. She probably didn't. But for some way, it's men's fault. Her getting in an accident is men's fault. And I'm like, how did you even relate the two? Is beyond me. But that is 100% right.
Yeah, we definitely gonna, and this is one reason why I tell women about the control of our emotional responses, because every woman is guilty of it. That's not really a good woman, bad woman thing. That's just a woman thing.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
we have to have more mindfulness about how we relay information. It can't all be relayed just through our emotional lens and how we felt about something. So here's what I want to do. I got a couple of videos cleared up that I want us to discuss. Now, this is in the line of certain quote unquote pick me behavior. I seen this video a while back and I said, you know what? And I wanted to sort of discuss it, but I didn't necessarily want to make a whole video out of it. But this would be a good point for this one right here. I got two instances of what would be called, I guess, male identified or pick me behavior. Okay, so this one, the ladies did not like what this woman had to say. Now, mind you, she got her breasts out, but we're not gonna talk about all that. We're gonna hear what she has to say. We gonna try to ignore her tatas.
I feel like I'm the only person who just doesn't care about men cheating. Like, I literally don't care. Like, bitch, I'm busy. I have shit going on. I have businesses, I have hobbies, I have friends, I have my own money. I have things going on. I don't have time to track you down or go through your phone. I'm not a fucking detective. I'm not a cop. I'm not your mother. I don't have time for shit like this. I feel like some women make it their whole personality, like worrying about what a man is doing. He shouldn't be cheating. He shouldn't be out here. I got to track his mouth. Got to go through his phone. Got to do this. Got to go through his pants pocket. I'm not doing none of that. I'm never doing none of that. I'm busy. And then to think about it, like, I wouldn't even let a man even have that much control over my emotions like that. I don't even pour into things that I can't control. So there's absolutely no way, no hell on earth that I was ever tracking you down or putting care into what you are doing and if you are cheating on me. Bitch, I don't care. I feel like I'm the only person who.
Okay. So we heard what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Just your initial reaction, whatever you want to say about.
I mean, ignoring her obvious, ignoring that cheating topic is definitely. I can see how they will get triggered on it because if you observe that that is their main point, or he's gonna cheat. Like, well, I remember once I had an interview with another YouTuber, and I mentioned in the interview, cheating is not the worst thing a man can do. This was around the time when I think B. Simone had said Martin Luther King isn't a good man because he cheats on his wife. Do you remember that whole nonsense that she said?
Yeah.
So I had said cheating isn't the worst thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Prince, the amount of hate I got, you would think I call people out of their name or talk about their mom. Cheating like, cheating is definitely not the worst thing. I can think after watching true crime, I can think at least 5 worse things than cheating that a man can do. But they have to hyper focus on that because that's the only really the main ammunition that they have when talking about men. When they say, oh, a man is a great protector, a man should provide, a man should do all of these things. Oh, but he's gonna cheat, so let's throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only, as I said, that's the only ammo they have. So they have to hyper focus. So someone like that young lady now who's saying, I don't care if a man cheat. Like, I have other things to do. Like, if you cheat, you cheat. They get offended because it's like, no, how dare you? We're supposed to hate. We're supposed to call out cheaters. That's our main thing.
Exactly. And to sort of prove the point, look, we're gonna look at the comments. Girl, bye. Until you fall in love, you're definitely gonna care. You're still human and a woman at that. So the whole point about this video is you don't love yourself. Because as busy as you say, why are you even dating? Because according to what you just said, you don't care at all. You don't love yourself if you're going to work as hard as state for yourself and choose to be with someone who doesn't appreciate, respect, value, or love you. I see a very hardworking woman that's so desperate for love, but keep on getting played by men to a point that you just accept it. And you're trying to make it look sassy. Girl, you need therapy. Okay. So you don't care now, but you gonna care when that toon start smelling fishy. All right. So we can see from the comments
Mm-hmm.
that they think this, even though they didn't necessarily say the term, they think this is pick me behavior because they immediately went to she doesn't love herself if she's going to not go all out if he quote unquote cheats on her. Now, mind you, none of these people are married to anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
nobody has any commitment. Not Chantel rolled her eyes.
Because it's always the unmarried one. Notice the loudest ones. The loudest ones are always the ones who can't keep a man to save their life.
Oh my goodness. You know, and I'm gonna dig a little deeper though with what she said as well. because she's saying generally the right things. I agree overall, because I'm not Inspector Gadget, my dang on self. I'm not going through anything. Okay, I'm not going through phones, emails, text messages. I'm not trying to see none of it. Okay, because most of these chicks just want something to argue about anyway, or they just want leverage in the so-called relationship where you cheated, blah 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 blah. So they never really leave, even though they say it's some type of a deal breaker. They're never really gone. That's my whole thing. Like, y'all complain about something that y'all not even gonna lead them in for. Just like we said earlier about the T app. They're not trying to lead them in. They just trying to see who the chick is and do she look better than them. You know, and all this kind of stuff. They don't be trying to leave. So that's why I don't really be it be capped to me when they talk about the cheating is this big old thing. That's capped, because it's not really. Which leads me also to believe that it's capped for them to say that they would never share a man, because they definitely are out here sharing men knowingly. It's just that it's not, I guess, according to hyena code, that's taboo to knowingly and openly share these men without problem. But going to the deeper thing of what she's saying, she said the right thing when she said she wasn't going to go through the phone. But the reason she gave for not wanting to go through the phone or wanting to do that, to me, was a little bit of cap, because she's saying she's too busy and too preoccupied with all the quote unquote wonderful things that she's got going on in her life, that she simply does not have time to pay attention to that. And that's not really sustainable. If you're not going to go through that man's phone, don't do it, because that's not what you do. I wouldn't care if I was sitting up rubbing my feet together all day. I'm not going, as I rub my feet together, I'm not going to have your phone in my hand. How about that? Because I just don't do it, whether I'm busy or not. That's just not something that I want to do. And that's not a lack of love for yourself, ladies. That's just simply wanting peace for yourself. Because if y'all's contention is that all the men cheat, so if all the men cheat, what are you mad for? If in fact that's the case, that most of the men are cheating, what are you mad at? Why are you upset? He's gonna do it, right? According to you, no matter who these men are, where they come from, or what walk of life they are, that's just what men do. So if that's just what men do, regardless of whether he treats you right or treats you wrong, why are you mad?
But then that's just,
yeah, go ahead. I was going to go back.
That proves your point. They're not going to leave anyway, because men cheat anyways, right? So the only reason they're doing it is to see the girl that he's cheating with, to see if she looks better than her.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want to compare themselves to the other women that he's attracted to, because it strikes up their insecurities. Because these women, for all of the insecurities that they would accuse me or Miss Chantel of having, for the reason why we're quote unquote pick-me's and black male identified, because they try to say that that's because we have some type of insecurity about men, or we don't get attention from men, which is crazy. It's crazy work. Them trying to compare themselves to what other kind of women their men like brings up all of their insecurities. Going through the phone is an insecurity. That's an insecurity, because these let me tell you something, Miss Chantel, you may or may not realize, these chicks don't even be in relationships with these men and going through their phone.
Exactly. Exactly.
They don't be in relationships, girl. They be done talk to this man 2 weeks and then think that they are entitled to go through his phone to see what other woman he talking to. Again, not to leave, but to see where they fall in the roster. Are you number one in the roster, or are you number 5 in the roster now because you don't look good as that other one? That's when they get mad, I think, when they find out they don't look as good as the other girl.
And that's what pisses them off. If they'll get really, really upset if she looks better, and then if he's also giving, based on the text message, if he's, you know, giving her more attention and all these things, that will piss them off. But they're not going to leave. Hence why they would rather become a baby mama than becoming a wife, because it's like, okay, if I'm a baby, there was this trend going on TikTok where it's like, I'm his first. Be proud of the fact that
no,
I'm the first baby mama. I like putting it in other women's face where it's just like
what?
Yeah, so they are 100% okay with sharing these men.
They definitely 100% okay with sharing these men. That there's no doubt about that. I got one more video of another instance of what they would call, I guess, pick me behavior or what have you. Let me cue that up real quick.
No, just because you're a hardworking man.
I don't like all the music that play, but in short, his wife set up this setup for him. It's not his birthday or anything. When he asked why she did that, I only muted it because I don't want the music to play. When he asked her why she did that, she said it's because you're a hardworking man. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because of the caption that they chose to go with. And to me, this be like clickbait too. Said couple trends after woman shows appreciation for her man. Socials are in disbelief because he appears to be a security guard. Now, what that's supposed to imply is that why would she value her husband if he's not wealthy or quote unquote high value man or whatever it is that social media has convinced women is valuable in men? That caption, that title that they put up there, that's why they, in my opinion, that's why they put that title up there. What do you think about the video coupled with the implication of that title?
You're asking the video, what was the title? About him being just a security guard?
Yeah, the couple, let me put it back up. Couple trends after woman shows appreciation for her man. Socials are in disbelief because he appears to be a security guard.
Yeah, because they know that he appears to be a security guard. They know that's going to trigger these women because, as you said, a security guard is not a high value man position, even though clearly he's making his woman feel secured. He's doing his parts clearly, and she's just showing appreciation. But it's, how dare you show appreciation for a hardworking man if he doesn't fit a certain criteria that we, the sisterhood, say he's supposed to fit? According to them, you're supposed to only show appreciation to a man if he's paying all the bills, or if he's making 6 figures, or if he makes fast money. You know, he cannot, how dare he be a 9-to-5 earner? He gotta be, you know, he gotta be an entrepreneur. He gotta be making solid money, which, if you, I mean, people with common sense, if we put 2 and 2 together, you know, you already know what they're looking for. So it goes to show. But I honestly think that they put that that security guard caption because the content creator, whoever posted it, can just predict what the reaction is going to be from these hyenas.
Right. And that's a part of it too, because I'm glad you brought that out. The other reason why they knew to put that in there is because they knew a bunch of hyenas was going to be triggered.
Exactly.
By the fact that this is a low type of guy, quote unquote. Never mind that that's her husband. And good thing y'all ain't married to him. She's showing appreciation to the one she married to. Not the one y'all would approve of or whatever, because can't nobody get no man these hyenas would approve of, because first of all, they try to take them from you. And number two, what was good today won't be good tomorrow. About well, you know, which man was good and which one was deserving, you know what I'm saying, of appreciation or praise or anything like that. Here's what I wanted to do. I want to come back to the initial question that I asked you about what being male identified or black male identified really means. In my opinion, it is everything that you said about it, especially about opposing the views of feminism, but it's anything, it's any time or in any instance where a black woman honors, praises, compliments, or shows any of the basic respects and kindnesses and manners to black men at any time. I think that's how they define black male identified. Would you say that that might also be an assessment of how they define that?
Yeah, because I don't hear, I've never heard white male identified. Like, you know, like if we were up here praising a white man and saying, oh, we're gonna cook, we're gonna clean, we're gonna do. There's this video, I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on it. She was wearing a skimpy outfit, and she was like getting ready for date night with a white guy, but she was wearing a skimpy outfit. She had on her wave, you know, her hair helmet, and you know, just a typical uniform, a hyena uniform. And then like she broke the corner, saw him backed up.
I did see that, girl.
And then she had her afro out. I know she has on an elegant, and I'm just like, and it was a white guy, right? It was a white guy. So I'm just like, wait, like, so the point of it was what? You only dress like a 304 and wear a wig and everything men don't desire for black men, but when it comes to white men, then all of a sudden you can wear your natural hair and you can dress appropriately and act right. Like, it just goes to show, and that's why they say black male identify, because I can guarantee you, if our channels were about how to get you a white man, we would have never been called pick me or all the names that they call us.
No. And that really deep dives into another whole situation, because I did see that video. I'm so mad that I did not save it, but I definitely saw that came across my algorithm. And I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but it's just like Miss Chantel described. She came around the corner, it was a white dude, and then she went and stripped all that weave and all them lashes, and when the camera came back to her, she had a fro, she had a nice dress, you know, a nice like dress on for date night, you know, some respectable clothes and things of that nature, and she was more her natural self, which I find, like I said, that's a deeper conversation as well, because we've never heard white male identified. That's something that, because white men are supposed to be better than black men.
Yeah. And
that is how a lot of black women feel. Gary Owens, I don't know if you're familiar with him. Gary Owens is a comedian. Are you familiar with who that guy? And he was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, what have you. And he was saying that even he notices, because he's married to a black woman, he said even he notices the difference in how black women perceive his wife and him being together versus if the races were reversed, if he was black and she was white. And they were kind of like tripping out on his observation, but he wasn't lying. He was not lying at all. They say it repeatedly, they meaning these chicks, they say it repeatedly how it's a win, and you know, they do the little whatever that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you know, a win if black women are with white men. But what they don't understand is who these white men really are. I'm going to show this. Just to bring the point, when I thought I married my soulmate, we see who it is. Moved because I can't see past it. Moved to the UK because of him. All right. Then 2 months after moving here, he punched me several times in my face, strangled my neck. I thought I was going to die. Names like B, effing animal, fat, a Nigerian scammer became my new names. Heaven knows I'm not a nagging woman. I try my best to make it work. That right there. She tried her best to make it work with the guy that was putting his hands on you. Now, because this is a white dude, she's trying her best to make this situation work. Apologies, even if it wasn't my fault. He met all my family, but I never met his family. You ain't think nothing wrong with that?
So how she married him? I never met him. Well, let's continue.
You know what? Because the whole thing, stupid Miss Chantel. That's why you can't wrap your mind around it, because the whole thing is crazy. Says slap me again after a few months. I lost my dad during this period, still grieving. I lost myself, had to move out. He filed for divorce after 2 weeks of me moving out. Physical, emotional, psychological, any type of abuse is non-negotiable for me. I will never live with an abusive partner. She forgot to say again because she definitely lived with him. 34, no kids, and divorce. I will build again from scratch. Mind you, her natural hair. You know, she don't have a crazy amount of makeup on or anything like that. The reason that I wanted to bring that up in light of what we were saying is because so-called white men are better than black men. But so many times, those are the stories that they don't want to tell black women about. How Mr. Cartwright will send you to the upper room real quick. You will meet your maker, okay, dealing with those men. Because those men don't actually, and I'm sorry to say it, it's just my opinion. I don't think Mr. Cartwright like women. Like, I don't think they like women, the women's womanhood and stuff like that. I think they find women useful, but they don't really like women, not their own, and certainly not black women from any part of the diaspora. African, American, Caribbean, none of them. I think they see us as definitely less than human, even though we might be useful to them in some way, or they may marry black women. So I didn't mean to make it a downer, but please, if you got any thoughts on any of that, I'm happy to hear them.
I think they use black women to carry out their agenda, to pin the woman against the men, and then to only hyper focus on the good, the nice. I can't tell you how many times my friends in Jamaica would encourage me to get with a white man when I was living overseas, and I was just like, why are we like, what? I mean, Jamaica have non-black, yeah, but the population is just like less than 1%. So why are you so certain that a white man is going to treat me so much better than a black man is going to treat? Have you ever experienced a white man? And more than likely it's not. So it's like the simple fact that they're pushing this whole narrative, oh, white men are better, white men will treat you better, white men will take care of you, they'll pay all your bills. In my personal experience, black men tend to have more loyalty, and they tend to look out for me more than a white man. If I'm in, God forbid, I have a flat tire, and white men will just whoop past, but a black man will be more likely to stop and help. So it's just that brainwashing, and you have to think, if you are wise enough, you have to think all the way back, like, is this an agenda? And because a lot of women think emotionally, They don't think logically and they don't think things through. We were easily manipulated to use against our men, to paint this narrative. And women like the one that you showed that's actually telling the truth, they don't like her. So they'll try to silence people like that. Or you'll see them in the comment section saying, oh, well, that's one off, or, trying to make excuses so they can promote this whole, what's it called?
Divestment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I've gotten more kind treatment than not from Black men. I don't even surround myself with white men to begin with. And I've went to school, mixed schools, and work and things of that nature in the past, but I don't surround myself with them because I don't feel safe with them.
I was just about to say I don't trust
because I don't trust them. Y'all got something up y'all sleeve, whether you do or you don't. So I'm gonna just assume that you have that, and I don't assume that about Black men. I don't assume the worst possible situation in a group of Black men necessarily. Like, it depends on what kind of energy they putting out. It's not just in general for me, not like it is with Mr. Cartwright. Just in general, because I think that they have a disdain for everybody that's not them. So I don't have that same feeling when it comes to Black men. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read the rest of these super chats, and then I give you space to give your final thoughts, sweetheart.
Okay.
Greatness 81 said the WNBA isn't popular among women too. Weak people can't handle the truth, but they find comfort with lies. Thank you. Cameron says it's a pleasure to see you two speaking truth. Thank you. Deezy said thank you for the clarification. No problem. No problem at all. Thank you. MR said, having had failed relationships and marriage, I noticed in the aftermath of them that we both were unaccountable for our actions. When I tried to hold myself accountable, it wasn't matched. Excusing the red flags was wrong. Thank you, Lamar. Said good afternoon to two beautiful women. Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you so much. Miss Bethua says sign language at its worst. It's better to be with a security guard than a scammer. These hyenas have no conscience. And she hit us with the contribution. Thank you so much. I had someone I know from college call me a slave because I couldn't clean for my husband as well as work a full-time job. The kicker is that she's in her 50s, still single, has yet to get the man of her choice. Baby, if I'm a slave, if loving him is wrong, I don't want to be right. So if I'm a slave, baby, just let me go ahead. I'm a slave for you. Just let me go ahead and be a slave then, because if he working me like a dog, I'm trying to figure out what's the skin off of her nose. Anyway, thank you. And again, say yes, I saw that video too, being fake for a brother and natural for Mr. Cartwright. Makes no sense. Thank you, Miss Gail. How you feeling, sweetheart? So I sent the video to your DMs on IG. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't even see this at the time we was talking about it, but thank you. I appreciate that, sweetheart. So Miss Beshua said Mr. Cartwright sent the Black woman to the upper room in Texas. He got 72 years in prison, which is quite rare. I wish divestors would start understanding that the grass is not greener with Mr. Cartwright. It is not at all. Because I keep telling people I see why white women came up with feminism. I don't agree that Black women have it, but I kind of understand where white women was coming from with feminism, because Mr. Cartwright is not a joke. He don't like them, and he do be treating them crazy. I just don't understand why Black women attach themselves to that, because our men wasn't doing that. Our men don't do that. But
and if you think about it like that, it's such a shame that white women had to come up with feminism and then Black women running behind white men like, oh, he's greatest. Like, they're probably looking at us like, what are you talking about?
And they do. I did a video a long time ago, Miss Chantel, about a white man, and he was like disturbed about it. He was like, why do y'all Black women, he was talking about, are attracted to us. He was like, most of us, we're not no good. He's like, the black men that you skipped over to get to me was better than me. Why? And he was like disturbed. He was sitting like in like his little basement or whatever. He was like, I ain't really got no money. I'm not very attractive. I'm not very healthy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make a little bit of money, but you know, no more than nobody else. I'm not a rich man or anything. Why do y'all trip yourselves all over to get to me past these black men who are 10 times better men than me? 10 times. And like he was like upset. It had upset him, girl. So Mr. Cartwright gets upset.
Yeah. Because even going back to the video, that security guard that you showed us, these women would praise a black woman for doing that for a white man with no job, but they'll criticize you for doing it with a black man, for a black man with a job, even though it's a security guard, you know, a job that they consider that's not a high value job. But they would rather a white man with no job than a hardworking black man, just to say, oh, I'm dating out. And it's sick if you think about it, but their lack of self-awareness is just, yeah.
Right. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But sis, I wanted to give you a couple minutes space to say what your final thoughts were, if you had any more to add, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Beautiful.
This was a great conversation. Again, thank you for having me. I think, you know, the more we have these conversations, the more we show them that we're not phased by whatever term you want to call us. Before it was pick me, and we embrace pick me, now it's black male identified. Okay, we'll embrace that too. Like, no amount of shaming language can get us from not seeing things logically. Like, and I love that we both can call out toxic behavior in men and toxic behavior in women as well. It's just, you know, calling a spade and keeping it fair and balanced. So, you know, to continue to have these kind of conversation. And I love that, you know, the chats and the supporters. I haven't been live in so long, so it's great to see everyone in the chat as well.
You know, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming here and giving us your time. Like I said, I realize that you kind of pulled back from your channel. Although I do miss your live streams. I'm not gonna lie to you. You are entertaining. Okay. I love watching your live streams, but I know life is life. You know what I'm saying? There are more important things. But once again, so that makes me appreciate your time even more, Miss Chantel, for coming and talking to us. And I don't know how long you've been in Jamaica, but I'm wishing you all the best. You know what I'm saying? Of moving back and just moving around anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gotta go and reset. You know what I'm saying? And our lives, how we gonna live them. But all the best to you. Thank you once again. Thank you to the chat for coming and chilling with us for a moment. And jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and subscribe to Chantel's channel as well. All right. Once again, I'm the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.